Welcome to our podcast today. Ask Aaron and Ask EJ. This is Coach EJ, DeBrand.
Let's Coach Aaron, LaSource. AJ, what's our subject today?
Our subject today, Aaron, is chasing metrics. There's this whole understanding of, from an offensive standpoint, um, in Major League Baseball, why the average of a Major League ball player in the past 10 years has gone from 262, a team average, 262, to now 239. I'm gonna give it point. I'll say 239 as a league average, and I'm seeing these averages go down. I'm seeing guys who steal bases at an alarming rate, 60, 70 still on bases and only scoring 80 runs, 89 runs. I know back in the day when Ricky stole, was stealing anywhere from 60 to 100 bases, he was scoring over 100 plus runs every year he did that. So it's telling me that run producing or hitting is not getting better, and that people are chasing these exit velocity. I'm going to say launch angle, and I'm going to talk about that a little later. But bat speed and all that stuff. And we're seeing that Major League Baseball average go down because of chasing these things that don't allow you to hit. And thus, when you have guys in scoring position and you're not hitting and chasing metrics, you're not driving in as many runs, Aaron. Only 8 hitting over 3. This year in 2025, only 8 players in Major League Baseball are hitting over 300. So that's quite different than you've seen in years past. And last year there were a low under 10 players that hit over 300. So that's what I'm talking about, chasing metrics. Are we chasing it in a positive way or in a negative way? We're just seeing things go slightly down with averages, run producing, and all those important stats that we like to use now.
So, if I understand this correctly, because kids are now taught to chase the metrics of velocity, launch angle, those sorts of things, they're not, they're getting away from, I guess, the situational hitting aspect of it. Because are they using the same sort of swing in every scenario versus maybe trying to hit a chopper down the, third base line to advance a guy, or you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yes, I do.
is that mean they're kind of taking away the manipulation of how they hit, and where they're going to place the ball, and they're just again kind of using the same swing every time, every situation. And obviously, maybe that's for most athletes, it's most kids, that's the home run, like we were
Mm-hmm.
talking before, um, because you're talking about baseballs going to this producing runs fast, and home runs produce r runs the fastest. Everyone's kind of going after that. Is this kind of, if I understand this correctly, is that kind of how metrics is messing with what's going on?
Yeah, Aaron, I think situational hitting, like moving a runner over or hitting the ball where we can score a run faster, because we're producing a run producing runs or getting players into scoring position, that's gone downhill. There's no people think there's no value of that because they think a home run scores a run faster than that. And you can have more players in your lineup swinging for a home run, then your probability of scoring a run fast goes up. That's their theory. But as I know it, Aaron, is that home run hitters, people's power, let's just call power. Players' power increases through experience. That experience happens because they see this type of pitching and they start to understand themselves as hitters. They start to learn how to hit. What's being taught now and what's been brought down from Major League Baseball all the way down through college, high school, and youth baseball is this: get off your best swing, on your pitch. And if you do that, the probability of hitting the ball well, no matter what the count is, you have a better chance to score a run for the team. You're going to get off your best swing. Well, what if you don't get your pitch on every at bat? Or you might go through a game or two and you don't get that pitch. So you just sit there and wait. We're seeing kids at alarming rate and major league players backward Ks. That means not swinging at the third strike, watching because the ball's thrown on the outer half of the plate or inside corner, and players are not consistently understanding how to hit those pitches because they're trying to get off their A swing on that A pitch.
Mm,
So you're starting to see these averages with runners in scoring position and just their overall average as a hitter go down because of that.
mm,
And I feel in our industry, Aaron, that people aren't teaching hitting how to hit. People are teaching a swing. How do you get if you do this correctly and you change your body like this and you get the bat moving on this kind of plane and you swing up, guess what? You're gonna get your A swing and then wait for your pitch. Well,
mm.
as we know, everybody doesn't throw the ball perfectly into your spot like a pitching machine.
Right.
People are teaching that. I mean, how many people are actually throwing live batting practice anymore? I mean, I had arm surgery, so I had to revert to a machine. But I'm back to throwing live batting practice now because it's teaching players how to adjust to my arm angle, how to adjust to a ball thrown at a different location. When you're teaching with the pitch machine, it's throwing it relatively in the same spot. Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
And players are just being taught this batting machine swing. So that's what's really going on right now, Aaron, is that are we really teaching the game? Or are we chasing metrics?
mhm,
So
mhm.
your comments earlier were just spot on.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. I know. Isn't it funny, Aaron? It really, who's teaching these days? It goes back to the same thing when you have people coming to the shop, right? Who's teaching kids how to move their bodies anymore and showing them how to really, and it's a progression, it's a process, you
Right.
know, and it's the same concept. No one's teaching these days the game correctly.
Yeah, it kind of parallels with some of the stuff that's happened in sports performance where we get so enamored with some of these testing protocols and devices that everyone trains for the test, but they don't transfer, anything out. They'll say, "Hey, I've got, I've hit this metric on the force plate, but you're not running any faster." Or,
Right, right,
or I did my vertical jump went to this, but you still can't coordinate yourself to dunk the ball or whatever.
right.
Yeah, and that's one reason why I don't do tests at my facility because when you start to do tests, well, everyone wants to get better at the test. Well, how do you get better at the test? You kind of train for the test. And now you're caught up in this, but you've gotten away from the purpose of why you walked through the door to begin with, to become a better baseball player, a better basketball athlete, you know. And so to me it's I see where you're going, where if you start to throw these metrics out there, and I get it, people want to measure their improvement and they want to measure the investment that they're putting into this, the time and money. But, I always have to counter with, your feedback should be what your performance is out on the field,
Right.
not necessarily what the numbers are going to show on a test. Because they may not correlate. They may, you might get a 10% improvement in your vertical jump, but you might be able to get out there and now sky at will. Or you can get a 20% improvement on your vertical jump and still can't touch the rim. You know, uh, because you're not maybe using what you're building properly. So to me, you're always got to be bridging the training with the performance. And like you said, if you're just working on, and I like how you said that, if you're just teaching a swing and not learning how to hit, those are two different things. And I think that really concretely says it all.
Yeah, I agree. I was working with the guy yesterday, Aaron, later in the evening, and this guy's a little pull conscious a little bit. He just, wasn't covering the plate enough. So we just made an adjustment, just a small adjustment in his swing so he could cover the outside corner because he was getting beat away and he couldn't hit that in a game. He was basically swinging on a one pitch plane on one pitch location and he would crush it. And that's what I'm talking about. Guys are teaching that. Hey, here's your pitch. Here's your swing for that pitch. You get it, do that, and we have a probability of hitting the ball out of the ballpark for a run.
Hmm. Hmm.
But he's getting hammered away on balls that are hittable, like ball up and away. He was missing. I go, okay, we're gonna make this slight little adjustment. All of a sudden, he's pounding it all over the ballpark, and he's becoming a better hitter. And that's what we should really be focusing on. And I tell instructors out there in our industry, and I tell parents and players, find somebody who's gonna teach you how to hit.
Hmm.
Not somebody's going to teach you how to swing.
Right.
Teaching you how to swing doesn't take you that long.
Right.
Teaching you how to hit takes longer. It's just so much elaborate to say, okay, I mean, you have to make. And I don't see players really making, also, here's another point, Aaron, in game adjustments very fast because they don't know how to hit. Like the guy's told me a slider. Well, okay, so what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to make that slider be up and I'm going to have fastball timing and it has to be up for me to attack it. If it's down, then I got to let it go. Who's talking? Who's actually teaching players that in a game? I hear the most interesting conversations from players that are joining our baseball club or as I coach all over the country and listen to players talk, the knowledge, the lack of knowledge they have in terms of any facet of the game. Where's the student of the game anymore? Is metrics not allowing players to have the ability to be athletes and to think for themselves and to make adjustments for themselves? Are Matrix getting the players away from being a complete player, a complete hitter, a complete pitcher, fielder, whatever? Are we chasing things in the wrong way and not building players anymore?
Hmm. Hey, I don't have anything more to add to that. That's pretty interesting though, because I'd never really looked at it from that standpoint.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm starting to look at it from this standpoint now, and I really start to dive into this about 4 years ago because I started to see players not understand how to play the game. And you said it earlier, and I thought this is really a really good point you make is situational awareness, understanding how to hit in a situation or play in a situation defensively, pitch, catch, anything, any facet of the game. It seems that in this day and age, they're missing situational awareness and how to adjust on the fly to be an athlete. And I think the most important thing, and that's why, you know, you're called game speed. It's all about game speed, man. And that's how you have to adjust.
Hmm.
Simple as that. So it's my 2 cents today, Aaron. Again, we love to hear about people's comments, Aaron. So again, this is Coach EJ from the Ask Aaron and Ask EJ show. Thank you for listening today.
And this is Coach Aaron, the source. We'll see you guys. Keep posted.